Welcome, everyone. We're so excited that you have chosen to join this leadership series.
I'm going to say 3 words, and I want to ask you if any of them sound familiar. The first is overload, and the second is frustration, and the third is disappointment.
You know, I'm sitting here smiling going, oh, those are 3 really, really negative words.
They are. And for as long as we've been training agents and working with the leaders who lead the agents, what is it, bumper sticker Floyd always told us about? I got to go. There go my agents, and I'm their leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can often lead to one of those 3 things, and sometimes all 3 simultaneously: overload, frustration, and disappointment, especially for people who join our program, because by and large, 82% of them are in the bottom half of production. And boy, those are the people who are holding so much of your profit for you.
Right.
If you could get them up and running and producing, we could be so much more profitable.
And those are the people that we have spent our time teaching, leading, the leadership work that we have done, not just personally, but also in the classroom, before, after, lots of recruiting workshops and speakers academy. We've done all kinds of work with leaders. And to tell you the truth, you know, frustration is a human condition, right? No matter what your job is. But look at what your job, you end up with more frustration than most people. Come on, overload? Oh yeah. Let's volunteer for anything. Plus all the job you have is so huge. Well, no wonder there's overload. And frankly, disappointment goes with your territory as well. So we're going to talk about some negative things, but here's the really, really good news. You can overcome these 3 negative states with some Wickman tools and some Wickman thinking. So I hope you feel like you've come to the right place. Our objective is to illuminate that path for you so that when you're feeling frustrated, you know how to take action and get it nipped in the bud. When you're feeling overloaded, you know what to do so that you don't remain overloaded. And that's the recipe for disaster. And obviously, when you're feeling disappointed, which we encounter like weekly, sometimes daily, you know the thing that you've got to do to get past the disappointment.
And it's good to know what you want. Like the 3 men who were cast away on a desert island.
Okay.
And they're walking along the beach after starving for a couple of weeks, and they kick over something. It's a magic lamp.
Ooh.
And the magic lamp, out pops a
genie.
They always do. But the genie looks and says, I only have 3 wishes, so I guess you each get 1. And the first one said, I would really like to be back home with my wife and family. And poof, he disappears. And the second one said, this is going to work. I'm a $10 million line of credit at Caesar's Palace in a penthouse suite. And boom, he disappears.
There's a third guy left.
Yeah, who's standing there looking puzzled for minutes. And finally says, I don't know what I want. I wish my friends were back here to help me figure it out.
Oops.
Oh.
So what do you want to get past the frustration, the overload, and the disappointment? Hope that's clear.
The first Wickman tool we're going to give you is to handle overload.
All right.
Because you probably have 82 different priorities and jobs, if our experience is right. So what is the problem with having 82 jobs? Well, you can't get them all done. So whenever you're feeling overload, or by the way, losing traction, like you're not getting anywhere, it's time to re-engineer, because overload is all about what you're doing with your time. And here's what Floyd has taught us to do. Take a week or 2 and look back. Now, this might mean like a 45-minute clarity break for you. I'm going to take a look back at what I've been doing with my time. How many hours in a week, hon?
168.
Right. And 56 of them you're sleeping.
Well, maybe.
The other 112 you're working.
Some people sleep more and some people sleep a little bit less, but okay, ballpark.
So what Floyd tells us to do is take an honest look and write on paper, what have you been doing with your time? How much time have you spent on different tasks? And be as honest as you can and do your best to come up with 168 for a whole week. Or if you're doing 2 weeks, 2 times 168. And then what you do is you fly up in the air and take a bird's eye view of everything you've been doing and decide what is it that I could automate? Technology has become a marvelous thing, especially with AI. There are so many things AI can do for you, and the technology can do for you, or it can do it quicker, or can do it more efficiently.
And the second thing you're going to look at is what items have you done that you could delegate? You know, a really good assistant is the kind that bosses you around, right? That keeps track of things for you and directs your activity so that you don't miss. You know, we got a lot of spinning plates, so we can't have the plates be crash into the ground. So who do you have in your world that should be doing more than they currently are doing? Or who do you need to put in your world to handle some of the tasks that you no longer, because you have an awareness now that you know you need to get off your plate? I always use the example of mowing the lawn. You know, you ever drive by those properties with 4 and 5 acres and it's perfectly manicured grass? And I always think, well, someone probably really enjoys escaping reality for 4 or 5 hours and they love doing it every week. Now that would not be me. So if that were my home, that would be something I would delegate. What are you doing? Maybe it's not even a work item. Maybe there's things at home, or there's driving of children or whatever that you could delegate to someone to free you up to do your job better. So sometimes the delegating isn't just delegating at work. It can be delegating home tasks. Take a look at your volunteer time as well and say to yourself, how long ago did I join this group and that group and the other group? How much time is that costing me? And is it bringing me joy? If it's bringing me joy, well, then that's fine. But if it's not, who could do what I'm currently doing in that organization? How could I share the load, share the weight? Make sense? Automate and delegate.
One of Floyd's management principles is make people independent of you, not dependent on you. If every time a contract has to be filled out, you have to get involved, well, then those people are dependent on you. And if you trust them a little bit, well, what is that other great saying? If you show people you trust them, they'll go out of their way to prove you're right.
And if you show them you don't,
they'll go out of their way to prove you're right. 2
little Wickmanisms there. I hope you jotted them down because they really are so important. And maybe it's the reason that you're paying attention to this video right now.
Automate, delegate, and the third is eliminate.
And hold on, I want to underline again, make your people independent of you. Are you living? Are you working with that as one of your goals? Sometimes our most painful stuff is self-inflicted, right? It's my own darn fault because I'm overloaded, because I'm the one that's created this strategy that's making me overloaded. So if I believe that as a leader, part of my job is to make people independent of me. And by the way, not just agents, also our staff, the people that we work with. So ask yourself if there's some room for fixing in there. All right. And then the second thing.
I know you have hopes and dreams and wishes and expectations, but the more important things are, what are your goals? What are your objectives? What are your corporate priorities? What does the company want? Well, there are certain things you're doing that don't get you anywhere near any of those things. And I know if you take a real honest look at what you're doing with your time, there are things you can eliminate and do completely without, and it won't make any difference whatsoever. As long as you're being brutally honest, what can I use technology to automate and do for me? Who can I delegate, and what things can I delegate to other people? And what things could I eliminate doing? And if you will do that realistically, honestly, you're going to find how to alleviate overwhelm.
So I've got another thought
Good.
in that as well. When we eliminate, sometimes we eliminate again from our personal life. How much TV are you watching? How much time are you spending socializing? Is there a place in your world that there's a kind of like a leaky sink, right? A leaky faucet where time is just getting away from you.
Drip.
You're not calling me names, are you? Okay. But here's the thing. When Michael began explaining how this works to eliminate overload, he asked you to go back 1 week or maybe 2. Every single time I've done that, I have been incapable of remembering what I've been doing.
All 168 hours.
So you're telling us to be honest, but I cannot remember. So what works for me is to go forward. What if starting today, you grabbed a notepad and you kept that notepad with you every minute, and every time you did something, you wrote it down? And it's going to be frustrating as all devil, because there's going to be times you feel like all you're doing is writing down. I'm writing down in this stupid notebook. But in a week, or if you choose 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, you will have a really accurate assessment of where your time is going. And it very well might open your eyes to how you can fix it. Remember, automate, delegate, eliminate. Those are the 3 solutions, but that only will work if you've got good data to begin with. So maybe consider going forward instead of back.
Doing that re-engineering going forward might solve the problem all by itself. You've heard of those studies where they ask people to write down everything they eat for a week, and they all lost weight.
Yeah. I haven't heard of that. Well, I should probably do that.
By the way, if you're interested in all these management principles that Floyd taught us, you can find them at Amazon, Successful Strategies for Sales Managers.
So the book again is called Successful Strategies for Sales Managers. It is in fact timeless, and it was written by Floyd Wickman. Pretty cool.
Well,
all right.
We talked overload. Now we're going to talk frustration.
Oh, who gets frustrated?
Well, frustration comes from knowing what you want to do, but not knowing how to do it. Generally, frustration can also come from people not living up to expectations. Frustration can also come from having a target, but not being able to hit it.
Oh, okay.
Coming up against roadblocks, obstacles, challenges, problems, deals blowing up. Like last year, 17% of everything put together fell apart before it got to closing. That can be very frustrating.
Well, too, like I just had last week a manager intending to come to observe a live program that I'm teaching, and she couldn't because there was no one else to man the front desk. Her gal quit. And so I guess she's in charge of that now. Like, speaking of overload,
delegate.
But to whom? And sometimes our hands are tied, right? And so that can be a very good source of frustration as well.
So Floyd created this tool called the AHA, A-H-A, because light bulbs will go on when you, it's the adversity handling analysis. Adversities are the biggest source of detours of getting off track and creating frustration.
So the name again is AHA, A-H-A, and that is an abbreviation. What's not an abbreviation? It's a what? An acronym.
No.
Is it?
Adversity handling analysis.
Right. So I'm really hoping you're taking notes, because listen, we had other things to do today, but this is so important to you. we're just hungry to have you use these tools that we know so well, that we use when we feel frustrated,
Right.
that we used and have used for decades, to put those into your toolbox and change things for you. Got such a hard job. What if you could bring joy to your life again and eliminate frustration? It's the aha.
It is. And it, again, take a clarity break. It might even be 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be an hour. But what you do is, just like with re-engineering, you're thinking on paper. You're putting words down on paper and taking a look at them. And the first thing you want to do is get the facts. What happened to cause this frustration? And usually, the more dispassionately you can look at the facts, at the events, the easier it's going to be to do the rest of it. Because the second step is
wait. First step, what happened?
What happened?
So Michael said, put it on paper. And so I feel like I need to think about what really happened. I need to think, okay, Eloise quit. The agent that you hired and trained and groomed, the annoying Eloise that was in your office constantly asking for help, and you were always there for her. And when she had difficulty in her life, you went over the top, stopped at her home, took her dog to, you know what I mean? Like, I know you do stuff like that. Okay, she quit. So that's what happened. And I don't know that you need to write all that out. I know that you believe
Eloise
that.
quit. That's good enough.
Right, exactly. But I think you need to review why you're frustrated. That's the what happened too. I'm frustrated because she quit, but I'm frustrated because I invested so dang much. And clearly it was not a good investment of my time, energy, joy, because look at the return I got on it. I got slapped in the face. And I think there's something to be said for sitting in that for a minute. You've been sitting in it anyway. You've been driving and thinking about it. You've been working through your day mad about it.
Right.
But now really spend a minute or two just really thinking about all the things you did for Eloise and how that relationship really was. That is what happened.
And then we go to step 2. By the way, there's 5 steps. Step 2 is make a decision. Was this major or was it minor? Now, what's the difference between major and minor?
Capital M and small m.
Yeah, major is life-threatening and minor is everything else in reality.
It can seem major.
Yeah, it can.
And this is called getting perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to tell you a quick story about my friend Helen. She was in charge of a multi-office area in Texas, and probably had somewhere just south of 300 agents at the time. And so we had 82 of them going through a Floyd Wickman program. And I always like to give the microphone to a leader on the day of graduation and, say something that you want to say to these people that worked so hard and all of that. And I'll never forget what she said when she picked up that microphone. Because she said, her first words were, breast cancer was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Wow.
Now, do you think she felt that way when she was diagnosed? No. Do you think she felt that way during chemo? Nope. And so why did she say that? Why did she say that at a graduation? And I know the answer, and maybe you do too. So I'll see if you're right. I'll tell you the answer. Because no matter what went wrong, she had perspective. Oh, the office flooded, and all of the paper files we had been storing in the basement and have not yet digitized are now ruined. At least I don't have cancer. Eloise left, but I don't have cancer. So that perspective enabled her to say, it seemed major. It seems major. I want to feel like it's major, but I got to get it in perspective, and it's not. It's minor compared to everything else. I'm so grateful for that lesson that she taught me. And I keep saying, I'm paying attention. Sometimes we have to undergo the adversity ourselves to learn the lesson. Not me, and I hope not you as well. Major or minor?
Step 3 is about responsibility. Look at the cause. Say, okay, what percent am I responsible for this? Now, if your answer is 0,
that's a problem.
Maybe we go back to step 1. Or if your answer is 100, that requires a different kind of therapy from.
That's a problem too.
Yeah, exactly. It's somewhere in between.
We all know people that take no responsibility for things, and we all know people that take all the responsibility for things.
It's all my fault.
Are you one of those two extremes, or are you more of a realist, which means there's a percentage involved? So what is the percentage? How much of this is your responsibility to begin with? I think just putting a number on it is empowering.
Eloise quit. 10%, 90-10 on her, but 10% on me.
Okay.
Not completely. So step 4, what's the lesson to be learned here? Now this step is real important because if we don't learn from history, we're doomed to
repeat it.
That's right. And when you learn from mistakes or adversities or frustrations, it makes it easier to get past them. Some things you'll never get over, ever, but you can always get past them if you learn from them.
Yeah.
That makes it easier to let go and go on. And then step 5, what can you put in place to prevent this from happening again? Maybe it's a system. Maybe it's a guardrail, a safeguard, a new qualifying question. Figure out what you could do going forward that would prevent it from occurring again.
And you will always have agents that leave you. If you're new to management,
they're all
maybe
gonna
you
leave.
didn't learn that yet.
Eventually.
We cannot have our happiness connected to having everyone stay forever because they get bought. I mean, there are companies that are, have been known to pay 6-figure cash advance to recruit away from you. Well, I get that. I mean, I guess they would take it, right? Especially if it was Eloise, right? Or whatever. We can't have our joy connected to having everyone stay with us all the time. It's a fact of life. We're going to lose some, and we're going to lose all of them eventually. So remind yourself of that.
So the next time you're frustrated, take a clarity break. Now, if there's 82 things frustrating you, that's a different problem. But usually it's going to be one main thing or one right now thing that's frustrating you. Take a break, take out your pen and paper, and go through the 5 steps. What happened? Major or minor? What percent am I responsible for? What lesson can be learned? And what could I put in place to prevent it from happening again?
I like how you can just rattle that off.
And number 3.
All right.
Disappointment. Now, what could possibly be disappointing somebody in a leadership role in real estate today?
Name it. Well, we just did the aha. Sometimes the disappointment is an adversity, right? It can be defined as an adversity. But what kind of disappointment are you talking about, Michael?
Well, I'm thinking of low production.
Oh.
Low producers, non-producers, people who don't show up.
Oh, yeah. You think you got someone.
Yeah.
They look really good.
They don't
I remember hiring the cutest guy. I mean, he was way younger than me. I don't mean cute. I mean, he was like, oh my gosh, he looks successful. He's got the look. He's got the jazz. Oh, he answered all my questions, my knockout questions. I liked him. We had a great interview. He's in, and he never got his license. Ugh. So I finally, you hire someone, you think, oh my gosh, they're going to be great. And then they don't even show up. So sometimes it's that kind of thing, where you think you got something, but then you don't. You bring someone on board and then they never past the first corner,
Disappointments are inevitable.
Yeah.
However, it's not either or.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's and.
We're stuck with
I
disappointments.
want to give you a couple preventive measures that you can take.
All right.
And they're both from Floyd. And here's the first one. He always said, keep your dreams and energy level high and your expectations under control, and you'll rarely be disappointed.
Have you heard us say that before? So you said it a few different ways, but always that same message. If you keep your expectations under control, you'll always be pleased with the results. But sometimes we get too excited.
Keep your energy high.
Oh yeah, your energy level high and your expectations under. Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
And your dreams clear. Your dreams right in front of you. And by dreams, he meant goals. And that's the second preventive measure. How do you demotivate a salesperson?
Give them a goal.
Right. They have to set their own goal. And so do you in a leadership role. We need to have goals that are specific and measurable with a time.
Okay, hold on. Sometimes as a manager, as a leader, you are given a goal.
Right.
And here's Floyd Wickman telling us that the fastest way to demotivate an agent is to give them a goal. I expect this. I know you can do this. You should achieve that. And yet that can be part of your job description, where someone else tells you, here's how many people you need to recruit this year. Here's how much production your office needs to account for this year. Here's how much the budget you need to cut this year. So I think what Michael's really talking about is having your own goals. You have to have those. There's no question you have to have whatever your upper management requires of you. But that does not mean you don't get to have your own goals in addition to them, right? So what are your goals? And I want you to go through the characteristics of a goal versus a fantasy, because sometimes, we think we've got a goal, but it's not really a goal because it doesn't meet the criteria. And if you're taking notes, you want to jot this one down. So give us the criteria.
Mary's right. You're going to get metrics from higher up that they want you to achieve, whether it's profitability or dollar volume or commission income, company dollar.
Number of agents,
whatever it happens to be. But there are other ways to measure how you're doing and what floats your boat and what makes you get up out of bed in the morning with enthusiasm, right? So a goal needs to be very specific. The more vague it is, the less power it's going to have. A goal needs to be a future magnet that pulls you toward it. So the more specific you can make it, the better. And it's got to be measurable. So first of all, when you hit it.
Right.
Right. But more importantly than that, so you can track your progress toward it. If we've discovered anything in our R squared coaching program, it's that people who see measurable progress toward a goal week after week stay motivated, not completely and forever, but better and more often and more fully and more enthusiastically. It's that visual perception that I'm making progress toward a goal that really motivates people and keeps them working toward it.
So measurable, that was the next ingredient.
Yeah. And the other thing is, if you measure your progress, then when you're a little bit behind.
Oh, that's true.
Because if you're just a little bit behind, how much extra effort does it take to catch up?
Right.
Just a little bit.
Right.
What happens if you get this far behind? What do people do when they get this far behind?
They give up.
Yeah. So you can catch up or you can give up, but without measuring progress, you have no idea where you are. So specific, measurable, with a time limit.
Oh, it has to have a date.
Yeah. Eventually everyone will be $1 million producer if they stay in long enough, right? But when you have a deadline, that galvanizes you, that energizes you. That cracks the whip a little bit, which is not a bad thing. It helps you establish what's important, what your priorities are on a day-to-day basis. So specific, measurable, with a time limit and visualized.
Oh,
Yeah. See it. If you can see it in your mind's eye, that's how you bring it into this world, into reality.
I think so many times we've had the experience of teaching and coaching athletes, students who were taught to visualize in their former lives, right? You know, they were on a rowing team, they were on a basketball team, they played football. They had an experience in their life with a coach that taught them the power of visualization, seeing the future that they wanted. And there's of course all kinds of scientific data as well, like the one where they bring a group of people into a basketball court every single day for 2 weeks and they have them shoot 45 baskets from the foul line, right? And then they compare their results in a final shootout with the same number of people who never set foot on a basketball court, but sat relaxed in the dark, and a therapist talks them through shooting the basket. See your toes against the foul line. Feel the ball in your hand. You are bouncing the ball. You bounce it 4 times, and then you swish right through the net. And the incredible thing is, the visualized folks outshoot the people that actually held the basketball. We know our minds are so powerful, and we sometimes forget to utilize this handy tool of just shutting our mouth, shutting our eyes, and seeing in our mind's eye that which we desire.
A vividly imagined experience has the same power as a real life experience.
You know, dreams are proof of that.
Yes.
You ever have a nightmare and you wake up with cramps in your legs because you were running and you're sweating in the bed and, oh, I was so scared. And it was all in your mind, because there you are laying at home in bed, no reason to be afraid of anything. And our minds are so powerful. Are you using yours to visualize the world that you want, the job that you want, the life that you want? That's how we hit that goal.
Back in the day, in our original program, Floyd's original program, he had students get a specific measurable goal and find an 8.5 by 11 full color picture of it somewhere and carry it around in a sheet protector attached to their, get this, keychain. Right. So every time they got in the car, it was flopping against their knee. Yeah. That's
so they
a visual
could see.
reminder. That's
so they
visual.
could see, and they didn't need their mind. And there's one other category that we haven't brought up yet.
Go ahead.
That makes a goal and not just a fantasy. It's got to be something you want. Something you want for you. Something that just gets your motor running. Something that just drives you, that you can put up with Elise leaving. Because she's just a number.
I thought it was Eloise.
Oh, well, Elise or Eloise or whatever. I'm sorry.
Both left.
Oh no, well, that's just the way that works. But the point being, if you know you need a net gain of 20 agents to your office in the next 12 months. Well, let's be honest. You probably, in order to gain 20, you're going to have to recruit more than 20. Because some of them will leave before they get there. Some of them will leave during the year. And some of the people you currently have will leave. And when you start tracking all your numbers and you know your ratios, which is what we do in leadership coaching, then you'll know exactly how many people you need to bring in the next 12 months. So you have that net gain that you're looking for. And then what you do, once you know the ratio, once you know those numbers, what you do is you set your goal around obtaining that. So something you want for you, something specific, something obtainable, something measurable. It's not the people you're going to hire that is the goal. It's the reward you get when you do the hiring. Make sense? And you don't have to wait a whole year for a reward. You can have little rewards along the way. And we call those LFTs.
Things you look forward to.
Look forward tos.
Yeah.
So in other words, I have this big, big goal. I'm going to know in a year that I've hit it, and I have a prize at the end of the year because I'm going to hit it. I really want that prize. But I could also have some smaller milestone prizes, LFTs, look forward tos, along the way. Today, I was talking to a leader who has her own company. She's also a member of the Broker Council. She's also got some volunteer positions. She's got all kinds of things going on in her life. And she's got 4 large events with all of that over the next 5 weeks. So what she did is she booked herself a little 4-day break at the end of that 5-week period so that she has an LFT, so that she can drive through it, so that she can keep her energy level high and her focus really fine-tuned and committed, knowing she's having a 4-day break at the end of that period of time.
Light at the end of the tunnel.
So what's yours? Do you have an LFT in place? Better get one. Do you have a goal that is measurable and obtainable and something you want for you, something visualized? Do you know what it's connected to? You only get the goal if you do this and that. And by when? So all of these things are going to help you to eliminate frustration.
And if you happen to be overloaded with no-lows, that's no producers and low producers, or you're frustrated with no-lows,
okay,
or you're disappointed with no-lows, and you want to make them independent of you and not dependent on you, here's a real quick fix. Get them this book, Rethink Everything You Know About Selling Real Estate. That's also available on Amazon.
Or at the NAR bookstore.
At the NAR bookstore.
Mike Palin is the author, so I can do the promo. This is really classic Wickman stuff. And it will get your people thinking that they are responsible for themselves rather than wondering when you're going to hand them the next lead.
And if you've never done a Wickman program, you know, it comes in all shapes and flavors and sizes. We've got a digital program. We've got the sweathogs.com online. We've got the live classroom program. We do events. So we're here for you as a resource. Pick up the phone, shoot us an email, go to floydwickman.com. And for Mary, on behalf of Mary and Floyd, I hope you've enjoyed this series because we've really enjoyed bringing it to you.
What do you mean on behalf of Mary and Floyd? What about you?
Oh, me too.
Oh, on behalf of Michael. Thank you for
There's only
trusting
half
us.
of me?
Oh, on behalf.
Okay.
Oh, anyway, we hope you had fun because we had an awful lot of fun spending time with you and giving you our best advice. Hope it makes a great difference.